28 also moving into the Fourth Ward West Front Street, and there are some parcels in the North Avenue and South Second Street area that are ripe for businesses to want to come here, but they need to know that we are here. And part of what I would like to do is to, as a council person, is to push the administration to develop a clear marketing plan. I work in Newark, and part of what is going on in Newark is there's economic development, and a lot of businesses are being displaced. So I would go to those businesses and show them what we have. We can be very, very competitive in making our area attractive for them because we have the access of I-78 for trucks.
Sure.
We have Route 22, and we also have Route 28. But we really need to go after these businesses, and so far no one has done that. We've heard pie in the sky.
Yes, and you hear this here almost every 4 years,
Right.
but we don't see any action.
Well, I tell you what. Now I don't want to say no action, because I've been in business for over 20 years, and I'm
Okay.
one of the founder members of the Plainfield Chamber of Commerce. And what we did, we was on the chamber. We established a SID. That was a special improvement district.
Okay.
All right, and that is a special tax you put on the businesses, so therefore you can enhance the outward look or also the services that the businesses can have. All right, now that is something that was very dramatic. It was hard really getting all the businesses together and trying to get them to say to add another 3% of their already they're getting a lower income coming in, but to add more 3% to their tax roll so they could pay for this. But I tell you what, it started off very well, and it's beginning to point. The problem that we've had is that now the city and the SID members and the businesses, for some reason, for the past couple of years, they haven't been working together. All right, and the SID members have been, complaining that the city hasn't come up with their share of the dollars, because the city's supposed to come up with their half, and the city comes up with their half of the money for improvements and downtown cleanup and things of that nature. And that is something, if you can't have the businesses in your own town right now happy,
Sure.
it's hard to attract outside businesses to come in.
But I think that what people really are looking for, and I'm going to keep it real, the most of the folk I talk to, they're looking for something like a Home Depot. They're not looking so much as, and although it's needed, the smaller businesses, they're looking for businesses.
major retailer.
A major retail, like they had Macy's here, I believe, years ago, and I guess Bamberger's in Macy's and went into Macy's. They're looking for that right there. So what can be done to attract that?
Well, and here's what I've done is I talked to Rutgers about this, and I said, we don't have an overarching citywide economic revitalization plan. How do we put one together? What kind of businesses do we go after? There's no Home Depot in Westfield. There's no Home Depot in Scotch Plains. So these are, they are looking for particular niches. There may be light industrial companies that may
But
benefit.
there's one in South Plainfield, right? Is that
That's,
South
yeah, that's
Plainfield?
right by 287. Now, we are
Okay.
not on 287. Let's
Sure.
be specifically, we're not on 78. These are the problems. People say we are, we're not. We don't have access. You have to travel significant distances. Those businesses are not interested. So there are particular niches that prefer to be right on the highway, very close to the highway. South Plainfield has that. We don't have Route 22. You have to drive a mile in to get into that. That's not access to Route 22.
So what kind of business can we have?
This is the question. So this is the exact question, and how do we go after them?
Sure.
What benefit, which business will do this? This is what I went to Rutgers, and I said, what do we do about this?
Okay.
And what he said is, we'll help you with the whole process. We'll help you define who you are. We'll help you define your strengths. We'll help you define your weaknesses. We'll help you define what sort of businesses would benefit from you. Then we'll put a plan together for you. So to do that, you have to put a group of citizens together. So we did that last year, and I led that on the council. Now we just have to get the administration to buy off into this plan, because it's intruding on the administration's turf at this point. So we're talking to the administration. Once they agree, then there's going to be a group of residents who are going to work and develop a comprehensive, overarching economic revitalization plan. And that'll help us understand how much resources do we need, who do we go after? Just because business being displaced doesn't mean that's the right match for us.
Okay.
You know, so this is what you got to be careful of. You got to have a plan. You got to see what sort of demographics work in your favor, your physical demographics, where your geographic location, what sort of industries would benefit from this, and then target those, because it takes a lot of time and energy to go after businesses. So it's kind of like selling a shirt.
Sure.
You want to be targeted. Who's going to buy your shirt? You know, you don't want to just go out and start talking
Okay.
to some.
All right. Let me address this to Rebecca. If you get in office,
Yes.
what would be your plan, or can you display your plan right here at this moment to let us know? Not the whole plan, but give us something of how we can attract a major business, or should we look for businesses that's more compatible for this kind of community? We're almost leaning towards a landlocked community. Is that what we're leaning towards?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay.
Well, you know, unfortunately, you know, the way our culture has developed, there is a mall right up at 22 at the Watchung Square
Sure.
Mall. There's a Walmart there. There's a Home Depot. There's a Target. So the likelihood that we would get one of those big bucks kinds of businesses here in Plainfield, you know, roughly a mile or two away, that's not very likely. But
Okay.
there are a number of other kinds of light industrial businesses that would be perfectly suitable for Plainfield. Back at about 40 years ago, our non-residential tax receipts accounted for about a third of our tax base, and that has fallen to about 16 or 17%. And unfortunately, over the past 4 or 5 years, under the current administration and council leadership, there has really been no push. We're hearing about this vision. You know, Corey brought this. He mentioned to me a couple of years he wanted to do this visioning study, and finally, it's now coming to fruition to have a vision. But I think that there are things that we can do now, and I said before and I say again that I will go down to the League of Municipalities on my own dime,
Okay.
taking Councilor Mapp, Councilor Storch, and the other councilors with me, and we will aggressively go and court businesses to come here. There are a number of businesses in Newark that I've spoken to, some of my contacts in Essex County. I work
Sure.
right across the street from the speaker, Sheila Oliver.
Okay.
And I've spoken to a number of people about, you know, my run for council and how I think I can, you know, work with them and work with the administration here to bring other kinds of businesses here. And luckily, under Al McWilliams back in 2002, 2004, you know, the North Avenue corridor was built fiber optic ready. So there are, you know, all kinds of businesses that can come here, computer businesses, internet
Okay.
technology, etc.
Things of that nature there. All right.
Just for an example.
Okay, you want to comment at all?
Definitely.
Go
The
ahead.
biggest problem I've always had, even when I was on council, is that we pay people thousands and thousands of dollars who are in these economic development positions to do this.
Let me interject one thing, Don. Do we have to pay Ruckus for this?
No,
Okay, go ahead.
not when they're going to help us free of charge.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, and the thing is, like, when we have all these people on a payroll, the job of a council person is not supposed to be the one. You're supposed to be out the proactive, yes, going after, you know, after the community, try to get things in.
Sure.
But that's not really the job of a council person. The council person really is supposed to be the eyes and ears for the people he represents, and also to find out what the voices of the people are, what they want. Now you bring that to administration. Administration, we hire the best people we can, and that's where I think we failed. We did not hire the people that are, I don't want to say they're not capable, but for whatever reason, they didn't provide the services that Plainfield requires. And we don't have the people in those positions that are actually actively going out there that we pay to do. All right, and that's where the problem comes in. When you have a city and you have development in there, I've learned from being in business, it's not you that be the best mind, but surround yourself with the best minds or whatever you want to do. I'm not an accountant, but I hire an accountant to do my work. Okay? I'm not a lawyer, but I hire a lawyer to do any legal work for me.
Okay.
So therefore, when you want the best out there, you get the best economic people and pay them accordingly. But also, when you pay them, get some results. And that's what we've been lacking. We pay out, but the results that come in do not come in. And that's what we need to focus on. And that's